neighbor. Today I would like to talk to you about something really important. It's about how we staff. There's something called skills-first hiring. It's about focusing on what people can do, whether they gain those skills from actually learning while doing their job, or whether they gain those skills through getting a degree. And don't get me wrong, degrees are an amazing way to build a great set of skills. But they just may not be for everybody. Because what you can gain by actually being out in the workforce and doing the work or getting it through a military background or other ways that we'll talk about today, you have a way to make things potentially a bit more tangible or specific. And skill-based hiring is a practice that when implemented the right way can make a huge difference on your workforce, how cohesive they are, and also the broad range of perspectives that you're bringing to the table. Today we're going to dive into a little bit of what this means, because this is something that's actually happening in the workforce right now. Being aware of how it works, how you and your staff can look at skill-based hiring from a different perspective is not only important to your workforce in the direction of your company, but it's just a way to tap into a whole new set of talent that you may have been overlooking in the past. And I'm actually going to stop myself here. I've said the word skill-based twice now, but this is really about skills first. Because skills first means you've actually acquired the skills, you have done the work, you have this now as part of your resume. And when you're hiring and you're looking to fill the right roles with the right people, people that have been skills first, so to speak, are ones that can bring tangible evidence to the table of things that they have done that have led them to be a critical part of how you're building your organization. So we gave some analogies, we had some real world examples, but how can you and your company actually get started on this? Some tips for employers and some things to consider as you're thinking about this and as you start to actually implement it, because you totally should. When it comes to job descriptions, think about what skills actually matter for that specific role. Also, when it comes to job descriptions, and I've written plenty in my day, and I know this can be something that happens, are you putting a degree on that job description because it's a force of habit or because it actually requires one? And think about this when it comes to the interview process and how you're putting the job description together and how that posting might look. Can you test what people can do instead of what they've learned? That's a really interesting distinction that I think everybody who's in the hiring fields should think about when it comes to what could actually be done versus what's been studied. Just because you know something doesn't mean that you can actually do it, but if you've done something, that's a much safer space to be able to point to say, that's proof that it works, we need that person. And when you're promoting from within, take into strong consideration whether or not that's being impacted by them having a degree or not. It should be performance-based, truly performance-based, and not because they already had a box checked before they even got in the role. And think about who you can partner with to tap into other talent pools as well that you haven't traditionally gone towards. There's a tremendous amount of resource out there today that can help you do this in a much stronger capacity, especially if you're a broader organization that has a bunch of different skill sets that you're looking to fill on a consistent basis. It's probably not going to be down the same traditional path that you've gone in the past. And strongly consider who you can partner with to be able to tap into these hidden talent pools. There's so much more resource out there today than there has been in the past. If you take a step back and consider what might be at your disposal so that you can tap into stars from a completely different perspective, especially with an open mind going into it, you're going to find so much more opportunity to bring in new, fresh talent that's going to bring a whole new perspective to your organization. All right, so what is skills-first hiring? Imagine you run a restaurant and you're looking to hire a new dessert chef.
Can you pass me 3 large eggs?
Yes, you could go and you could pull somebody that went to a culinary school, but they don't necessarily make the best desserts, do they? Because maybe what they learned from their grandmother or from the people that they were raised by overall was a set of skills that just cannot be replicated by any culinary school. What matters at the end of the day is that they can make the best desserts. They can make the best cupcakes, if you will. This is skills-first hiring in action. It's about looking at a person's actual abilities and experience, not just where they've been or the degree that they hold. College can absolutely be a great path to build skills, but it's not the only one. People are constantly learning, growing, and picking up new skills in all kinds of ways. So let's talk a little bit more about why this actually matters. Because when we focus on only degrees, we're going to miss out on an extraordinarily large 70 million plus person talent pool. There are so many people that didn't follow the traditional path that most people assume is needed to get into the workforce and then do the right kind of work or fill the right kind of role. This could be through apprenticeships. This can be through military service. This can be through personal projects, an entrepreneur that then chooses a different path, or just simply life experience, having done the things that they've done, where they've been learning along the way, and now are in a position to bring a whole new set of skills that you need, but you may not have been looking for because you were looking at degree first instead of skills first. Let me give you a personal story that's exactly in line with this, based on the fact that I am a star, I do not have a degree. People management is something that I've been known for as one of my strong suits. You know where I got a lot of that experience? Being a substitute teacher. When I was initially asked about what's my managerial experience for entry-level jobs where you had to manage small teams of people, I told the story about being a substitute teacher for a bunch of kindergartners. Why? Because if you can get a bunch of 5 and 6-year-olds on the same page to accomplish something in a timely fashion without too much mayhem happening, that's some people leadership skills. I told that story in countless amounts of interviews until I got my foot in the door. That's skills first. That's not degrees first. Didn't have the degree, but I had the skills because of the life experience. As a scenario for hiring managers, imagine you have 2 candidates, one with a degree, one who is skilled through alternative routes. Don't automatically assume that the one with the degree is more qualified. They might be, but make sure that you take a deeper look. The candidate who is skilled through alternative routes might have built their skills in a way that's just as valuable, but is actually more relevant to the job that you're looking to fill. Because we're all constantly learning and growing once we actually get into a role or once we actually start doing work. Skills first hiring recognizes that. So think about this even for your own job. Did your degree teach you everything about what you're doing today, or did you get in and roll up your sleeves and start to do the work and learn that way? For me, it was definitely the latter, but for others, it might have been the degree, but that's kind of the point. Skills first hiring recognizes all the ways that people build their expertise, not just one single path.
Hi, I'm Macy. I work here at Other Half. When I'm not here, I video edit. Yeah.
All right, so it can be crazy back here. We're talking about customer service, we're talking about process, teamwork. Just run me through that core list of skill sets again.
Yeah, I think the most important skill is customer service here. Anyone can pour beer, but you gotta, being a bartender is about being friendly. So customer service, multitasking is huge, like you said, when there's multiple people at the bar. Communication, coordinating with the team of what's here and what's not. And adaptability. I mean, every day is different at a bar.
Product knowledge. I'm going to add that to the list because product knowledge really is key, because that's how you can make sure that the customer service resonates.
Definitely.
What have you learned since you started working here that might be a new skill that you acquired?
I'm going to turn product knowledge on its head, because I think that actually something that I have learned here that has really aided me in my work life outside of working here is knowing when to say, I don't know. Being honest with the customer of, I haven't actually tried that one. Do you want to try it together? Or communicating to the team, like, I don't know how to do this thing. Can somebody walk me through it? Because we're going to get to the solution a lot faster if I'm honest about that than me kind of trying a bunch of stuff or, just talking about a beer I'm actually not familiar with. So that's a skill that I have learned, or, that I've grown in that here, and I didn't expect to.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
I would put that in the radical candor ballpark. Your ability to do that can make a huge difference of how quickly you learn and how quickly you do that.
Yeah.
Macy, thank you so much for having us back here today.
Of course, thanks for coming back here. You want to pour a beer?
I would love to try to pour a beer.
Here you go. Press down on this little water thing. Yeah, we rinse just a little press, yep.
And did I get it enough?
No, you got it perfect, yeah. And then maybe the 9th anniversary. We'll kind of go in at an angle to the side. Yep, exactly like that. And pull all the way down. Yep. And then as it comes, you can kind of tilt the glass. Yep. Perfect. That's a great pour.
Wow.
Cheers.
I had a lot of fun today. I hope that you had a lot of fun today and that you're looking at things differently, because all it takes is a simple mindset shift to go from we need to be degrees first to the potential of skills first. Focusing on skills isn't just good for business. It's good for people, it's good for communities, it opens up new paths of thinking, it's going to change your organization when it's done the right way. Once you put this into practice, which you 1000% should, it's not only about just putting something into your paperwork or starting to say that you're going to do this. Go out and hire these people and come back to me and tell me the impact that it's had on your organization. I guarantee you it is going to exceed your expectations for the following reason. You're going to get different perspective. You're going to get fresh talent. You're going to look at how you're acquiring and building your talent in a completely different way. Skills first is the wave of the future. TearThePaperCeiling.org can bring a whole slew of new information in addition to what we discussed today. Go check that out. My name is Tim. I've had a lot of fun today. I'll see you on the next episode.